Tonight on SportsDesk, the Hurricanes wrapped up their second recruiting class under Manny Diaz. We'll hear from UM's coaching staff about Category 20.
Plus, Canes Hoops is in the heart of ACC action. Our Hurricane Hangtime crew is going to break down what's been plaguing UM this year.
And one Canes baseball pitcher is poised for a breakout season. UMTV's Lauren Yelner sits down with sophomore Slade Saccone.
All that and more.
SportsDesk starts
right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching SportsDesk.
Hello and welcome to SportsDesk. I'm Charlotte Payne.
And I'm Josh White. Charlotte, Canes baseball season is right around the corner, but that might not be the most exciting thing going on.
Yeah, Josh, I mean, it might be the off season for Canes football, but Manny Diaz's crew stole the headlines this week.
Today, Miami Athletics announced new hire Rob Likens as the Hurricanes wide receivers coach. Likens comes to the 305 after spending the last 2 years at Arizona State as the Sun Devils offensive coordinator. Likens has 28 years of coaching experience and will work alongside Miami's new OC, Rhett Lashley, to improve the Canes' offense. UM ranked 90th in total offense last season, but the offensive staff changes should help fix those numbers and make the 2020 Canes a much more well-rounded team.
Hurricanes football struggled to finish the 2019 season, but 2020 has seen plenty of changes for the Canes. With National Signing Day in the books, here's what head coach Manny Diaz, offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley, and chief of staff Ed Reed had to say.
We sat here December 18th, I guess, and we were talking about 18 guys that we were really proud of. And to be able to add 6 more names to that list, 2 of which signed today, 4 that are actually already on our campus, is a great addition to our football team.
Just kind of looking through the situation, yeah, there's, I guess it's easy to always get caught up in negatives or what things aren't there. I'm just not one of those guys. I kind of see what can be and what is there and say, hey, this is what's there. This is what can be done with what's there. It's a process, man. We have a process going on, you know, and that's part of me trying to help figure out what's needed to get us on that track of fulfilling that standard that we have here.
UM will get official spring practices underway on February 29th. The Hurricanes went 6-7 in Manny Diaz's first campaign as head coach, their worst season since 2014. But despite finishing on a low note, there's a lot of optimism surrounding the football program. Let's go behind the post and check in with Tommy Sullivan.
Hello everyone, I'm Tommy Sullivan and welcome to this week's edition of Behind the Post, where we cover all things Canes happening on social media. This week, the Miami football team made huge news on National Signing Day with the signing of Avante Williams. Williams, the #1 safety prospect in the country according to ESPN, was once committed to Miami but decommitted in May of 2018. He then committed to Oregon and decommitted from them in December. With Florida and Miami in his final 2, nearly all experts thought he would choose the Gators because of his cousin, former Miami running back Lorenzo Lingard, who announced he'd be transferring to UF. After Williams' surprise announcement, Miami Twitter went crazy. First off, the Canes football Twitter kicked it off with ESPN's #1 safety in America is headed to Coral Gables. Welcome to the U. Coach Bonda tweeting out a pic with his daughter in Williams with the 100 emoji on it. Bonda taking this as a win. He's been the lead recruiter for Williams for nearly 4 years now. Some more excitement coming from the coaching staff. Assistant Director of Recruiting DeMarcus Van Dyke tweeting, "Happy Tay Day," and Defensive Coordinator Coach Baker tweeting, "Boom!" The football team's offseason workouts are already underway, and the Canes football dropped some new heat yesterday to show off the work the team is putting in. Canes football tweeting, "Loading, mat drill season is just getting started." The video shows Canes players getting in shape for spring. Not only are the players putting in work this offseason, but so are the coaches and administration. Between De'Ara King transferring to Miami and the signing of Avante Williams, the hype around the Miami program is certainly building up. Transfer defensive end Quincy Roche captured it best with his tweet. "It happens one at a time, but it's beautiful when you see it all come together." Stay tuned next week as we see what else comes together for the Canes. Back to you guys.
Amon Richards set the Hurricanes' freshman receiving record 3 years ago, and now he's taken his talents to the business world. I sat down with Amon Richards this week to talk about his new ventures after graduating. Take a look.
Yo, it's Amar, checking in, Canes fans.
Day to kick off.
I feel like I'm a very positive person.
You know, I just knew it was something much bigger than football. I wanted to like play. I wanted to get out there so bad. I was more hyped. Like I was like, let's go. Like.
And off went Amon Richards. The wide receiver went on to break Hurricane records, passing the likes of Michael Irvin and Andre Johnson. But all of that was cut short when he was diagnosed with a neck injury that ended his football career.
In football, life's got to keep going on, and just thankful that Amon's with us and doing, you know, he's going to do great things in life.
It's one of those things like you'll never get over. It's just you try and find something that can get you going like football did for me.
And for Amon, the obvious next step was sports management.
That's tough.
Yo, that's
tough.
on the football field. We all seen him on the football field, and now we're seeing him in a business setting. We needed someone like him in order to really take it to the next level. So I think it was a perfect marriage.
Amon partnered up with Right Side Media to create Legendary Sports, which focuses on branding the next generation of athletes.
So it's really looking out for the athlete in a way that your typical agent, your typical marketing person's not going to do.
Signing guys like DJ Dallas, especially in our first year, really in our first month of business, I think just shows the credibility of not only Legendary as a whole, but Amon Richards.
Amon is taking his skills from the game and bringing them into the office.
He refuses to take kind of like what may be the easier way to do things, and it kind of brings that energy that, you know, we want here.
Use that same energy and that mindset you used in that previous thing, put in the next thing, you know, don't give up. Legendary to me is just kind of being remembered for something greater. Everyone wants to be remembered for something, you know, they want to leave a legacy.
Amon's legacy on the football field has been written, and now he's just trying to help others create a legacy of their own.
Richards left his mark at the U and on the hearts of Canes fans. His next step is to make Legendary Sports a household name.
Coming up on SportsDesk, Cat 5 was in full force to cheer on the men's basketball team Wednesday night at the Watsco Center. After the break, we'll show you a new way to rock out like a hurricane before the game.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Times are tough for Hurricanes men's and women's basketball, with both teams reeling as of late. And things went further south this week as each team caught an L. Let's start with the women's squad taking on Virginia Tech, and things did not get off to a strong start. Routine pick and roll, Elizabeth Keatley takes advantage for the easy two down low. Then some defense for the Hokies. Dara Mabry picks the pocket and takes it the other way. Miami just shot 23% for the game. Destiny Harden with a rare triple for the Canes in this one. That was just some poor scoring for Miami throughout this game. The dagger three from Asia Shepherd to give Virginia Tech the 69-45 win for VT. Now let's kick it over to the men's side, taking on NC State. Devin Daniels, an early trifecta for the Wolfpack. Then they went out and running. Here's CJ Bryce, a little trickery, and the English didn't even know how he did it. Miami erased an 18-point deficit, cut it to 3. DJ Vasilovich with the triple to try and cut it a little closer. And then Harlan Beverly, what a story he's been as of late. A career-high 20 points, but Miami comes up short 83-72, and the Hurricanes fall at home.
Both Miami's men's and women's basketball has been plagued by the injury bug this year. Can Canes hoops overcome these obstacles and turn their season around? Our Hurricane Hangtime crew analyzes what unsung heroes need to step up. Guys?
Hello everyone, welcome to Hurricane Hang Time. I'm your host, Brian Acevedo, and I'm here with our two analysts, Embrick Isles and Michelle Ing-Reyes. Now, Embrick, this is the fourth time the Canes do not have Chris Likes. Who else can take his spot?
You know, no one can take Chris Likes' spot. He is the best player on this Hurricanes team, and a couple of players who have stepped up in his absence have been Harlan Beverly and Isaiah Wong, both adding about 15 points a game in his absence and shooting well from the field. So those two players made the most of their opportunities, and they're just freshmen, so a lot to look forward to for the next couple seasons.
Now, the Canes will be facing FSU this upcoming weekend. How can they bring home another win?
You know, the Hurricanes played FSU earlier this season, about 3 weeks ago in Coral Gables, led by 9 with 5 minutes left and weren't able to pull out a victory. But if they're going to win in Tallahassee, they're going to have to limit the turnovers. They had 24 against FSU earlier this season, and they're going to need to win the battle on the glass. And they're also going to need to stop Devin Vassell, who had a very big game against the Hurricanes when FSU played here a couple weeks ago.
Nice. Now, Michelle, Destiny Harden scored 13 points against Virginia Tech the other night. Would you say she was the MVP of the game, or is there someone else that stood out to you?
Well, you know, Brian, she definitely was a strong contender for MVP in this game. She had 13 points, as you said, setting her career high in scoring for the season. Besides Destiny Harden, though, who definitely led the game this past weekend, I think that freshman Sydney Roby also was a huge contender, led the Canes with scoring. She scored 11 points, tying her career high for this season.
Now, Michelle, the Canes have been playing hot potato with their record right now. They win, they lose, they win, they lose again. What must head coach Katie Meyer do to bring her team back to life?
Well, I think that Katie Meyer just really needs to encourage her team to play super aggressive offense. They really need to just get on with their scoring, definitely improve that for the next coming games, especially after seeing the game this past weekend. Most of their points were scored in the final quarter of the game, just a little bit too late. So definitely just start playing way more aggressively on the offense.
Nice. Well, that's all the time we have here on Hurricane Hang Time. Thanks for hanging with us. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brian. Category 5 held their first tailgate of the Hurricanes hoop season Wednesday night. Miami took on NC State, and while things didn't go the way as planned on the court, Cat 5 gave out free food and t-shirts to UM students. The UM Spirit Programming Board will hold its next giveaway on February 20th at the WAP.
Up next, Omaha is on their mind and in their hearts. Canes baseball returns to the light this weekend for their annual alumni game. Our Inside Pitch crew breaks down what to expect going into the 2020 season and who will make up that starting 9. Don't go away. But first, it's time to flip through those Canes baseball records books. How many times has Miami reached the College World Series? Is it A, 20? Is it B, 25? Is it C, 30? Or is it D, 35? Find out the answer when we return.
There's Charlotte. There's
So
mashed,
how's everything going?
Baked. Oh, wait, we're talking about potatoes. Mashed, baked, and fried. What's your favorite?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to say mashed.
You know
what?
what?
About you?
Why not? Why discriminate? It's 2020. All potatoes.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back. If you guessed B, you are correct. The Hurricanes have made it to Omaha 25 times. Miami's 25 trips to the College World Series ranks only second behind Texas's 36 appearances for the most all time. UM last qualified for the CWS back in 2016.
The ACC announced Thursday that Miami is the preseason favorite to win the Coastal Division. UM was picked as the likely division winner by 12 of the 14 coaches. The Hurricanes are looking for their first Coastal crown since 2016 and their fifth since joining the ACC in 2005.
Canes baseball is 1 week away from opening day, and the Hurricanes are a consensus top 10 team for the first time since 2016. But does Miami have enough tank to go the distance? Let's toss it to our Inside Pitch crew and find out what they think. Guys?
Welcome to this edition of Inside Pitch. I'm your host, Lauren Yellner, alongside analyst Brendan Riley. Brendan, I know Canes baseball hasn't officially started for the season, but what do you think of them going into 2020?
Yeah, Lauren, with this Hurricanes team, it really starts and ends with Omaha. You just heard that they're projected to win the ACC Coastal, so that means one thing, Omaha. This team, looking at the starting lineup, they only really lost one player, that was Michael Amditas, but now they have Adrian Del Castillo, who's going to do most of the catching this season. He's taken that step from the DH role to behind the plate. Going to see how he's going to be able to manage the workload behind the plate, see if his bat will carry over after being a freshman All-American a season ago. See if the bat can carry over, or pitchers might have figured him out. Another person to look for is Alex Terrell, the first baseman for the Hurricanes. Led the ACC in home runs a season ago, played really well last year. If he's able to produce those numbers once again, he'll be a huge part of this Hurricanes team being in the middle of the lineup. And then Freddie Zamora, the shortstop. He's a freshman All-American. Last year, though, kind of took a step back after he was injured for 11 games last season. See if he's going to be able to recover and play well this season, especially since it's a draft-eligible year for him.
Well, you told us a little bit about the lineup. What do you think of Canes pitching?
Yeah, I mean, with this pitching rotation, it really just starts and ends with the starters, the weekend starters, rather. I mean, looking at this team, lost Evan McKendry a year ago, your Friday night starter. So who's going to be that man? Personally, I think it's going to be Brian Van Bell, the Sunday starter from a season ago. He was the most consistent pitcher for the Canes a year ago. So really expect him to take that Friday spot and really take over as the Hurricanes' #1. Then Chris McMahon, he's been injured his first 2 seasons. Expect him to, if he can stay healthy, to be the Hurricanes' Saturday night guy. Then freshman All-American Slade Ciccone, expect him to make the jump from the weekday starter to the Sunday starter and be the anchor for that rotation.
Thanks so much, Brendan. We'll see what the Canes can pull off this season. I actually got a chance to catch up with Slade Ciccone to talk about his goals for the 2020 season.
University of Miami baseball has seen great success in recent years, especially with the addition of many young players to their roster. One player in particular who's ready to show his growth this season, sophomore Slade Ciccone.
I've gotten stronger, gotten more mentally prepared for this season, and just ready for anything.
Ciccone was recognized by Baseball America as a preseason All-American, and his improvement from his freshman season to now hasn't gone unnoticed by his teammates.
Definitely Slade grew a lot last year, from the start of the season to the end. Obviously he had his shaky moments, coming in the beginning of the season, but he was a freshman and you could tell he matured a lot. Coming from that first game to that last game he pitched at Mississippi State, he's going to build off that last start this year and he's going to just take off with it.
With such recognition so early on in his career, it would be easy for Slade to be overconfident, but he's prepared to work hard towards his goals in the 2020 season.
It shows potential, but it doesn't mean anything unless I back it up to me. So it just gives me more motivation to work harder. Definitely biggest goal is to win a College World Series. We have the team to do it this year, and that's the only expectation we have is to win.
Slade's success is definitely not slowing down as he continues to work hard to improve his skills as a baseball player and an overall teammate.
He's been working hard, he's been getting after it in the weight room, and I know he's definitely added some pitches to his arsenal, and I feel like he's going to go out there, have a great season. As long as he stays confident and stays on the right path, he'll be all right.
And from an experience point with some of the young guys, being able to teach them lessons, help them, and then continuing to just perform to the best of my ability.
Ciccone will get to show his talents along with the rest of his teammates when they take their home field for the first time this season on Friday, February 14th. For UMTV, I'm Lauren Yellner.
Miami baseball is ranked in the top 10, and so is Hurricane athletics in community service. UMTV reporter Cameron Dobbs traveled to Matheson Hammock Park to see the Canes send it in a whole new way.
Athletes at the University of Miami spend their weekends at the beach, but not to tan. The Canes helped pull around 750 pounds of marine debris from the mangroves at Matheson Hammock Park during a community service event. Soccer player Morgan Asmussen's worlds collided when she arrived at the beach cleanup.
I've been here a couple times for marine science labs, so it's kind of cool actually to see other people outside of just the program come and actually care about this specific environment. So it's fun to see everyone add something that I'm passionate about.
The athletes worked together with Send It for the Sea, a beach cleanup organization, and an apparent match made in heaven for Hurricane athletics.
Send it is something that athletes say when they're about to do something crazy or they're not sure if they can do something, like, oh, just send it, just go for it, pretty much. So we're really just trying to tackle it and have athletes be ambassadors towards sustainability within their little community.
Send It for the Sea teaches the community that sustainability isn't just an act, but a lifestyle.
I think it was cool that everyone was like learning as we were going through it. It was just like not only a service opportunity, but like an educational opportunity for all of us.
Hurricane teams got down and dirty to clean up Matheson Hammock Park, but this isn't the first time Miami athletes have done an event like this. In fact, Teamwork's Help Her Helper app just declared them #9 in the nation for community service.
I think it's great just because we have such a small body of student athletes and that we're able to get up there.
With about 375 athletes, UM accumulated over 4,000 hours in just 3 months, making a national statement.
Making people know that we're more than athletes, that we want to help the community, we want to help do everything we can to make the community better.
It means a lot because it's cool to see an interest, first of all, within the sports realm of people coming out and wanting to learn more about this issue is really awesome.
Every student athlete at Miami is doing something that's outside of their sport, so I think that's super cool aspect of like who we are as a university.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Cameron Dobbs.
Still ahead on SportsDesk, the Super Bowl made landfall in Miami this weekend, and the Chiefs brought home some rings. But Sunday night would not have been such an amazing event without the help of some University of Miami students. Stick with us to see how they made the night so special.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Thanks for staying with us. South Florida has been abuzz this past week with the Super Bowl in Miami Gardens. But the big game would not have been a touchdown without the help of some Hurricanes. Reporter Maxwell Trink is live in studio with more. Max, who else won this week?
Well, Josh, Super Bowl 54 was history in the making for the Kansas City Chiefs, but they weren't the only winners of the week. Many Miami students volunteered at several events throughout Super Bowl week to help make the big game a big success. All the way up. University of Miami junior Anthony Keene is a perennial Super Bowl viewer, hoping one day to see America's team in the championship.
It's such a big game, and I'm a huge football fan. I've watched it every year. I love it. Cowboys haven't been in it, but hey, it's still a huge game.
And Anthony actually beat out his Cowboys to the big game as a volunteer promoting the NFL's Play 60 events. For the 11th time, Miami was the host city for the Super Bowl, and the NFL needed extra hands to make Super Bowl week a touchdown. Dr. Aaron McNary is a sports administration professor at the U, planning out opportunities for UM students to be part of Super Bowl 54.
About a year ago, the Miami Super Bowl host committee came to some of my colleagues and myself and said, hey, we're putting on all of these events. We'd really love some industry partners.
The events took place at the Miami Beach Convention Center, part of the NFL Super Bowl experience. The NFL Super Bowl experience spanned from Wednesday, January 29th, all the way to Super Bowl Sunday. Many volunteers, including UM students, helped at the event.
You go to the convention center, you got to try all the NFL combine drills,
You got to meet players.
So there was a lot of Dolphin players there, other like football players there. I saw Eric Rowe. He had his Super Bowl rings on and stuff like that. Just playing with the kids.
These events only lasted a week, but it took more than a week's efforts to get students involved in the Super Bowl.
Obviously, the location we're in, we can offer these kinds of experiences, but it's also a culmination of hard work and relationship building that myself and colleagues have put in.
And while Anthony's Cowboys might not have made the big game, he's grateful to UM for this super opportunity.
It was great to see that so many people of the NFL came to the University of Miami to try and get us, like the University of Miami students, the opportunities to go volunteer.
Other events students volunteered at were Super Bowl Live in Bayfront Park and the NFL Honors. While the big game won't be in Miami next year, we may see some students head up to Tampa for Super Bowl 55. Reporting for UMTV's Sports Desk, I'm Maxwell Trigg.
Miami Hurricanes legend Ed Reed is back at the U, and his leadership could be just what this program needs. Evan Siegel explains how Reed could be the crucial spark from the sidelines on this week's Evan's Angle.
Ed Reed's return to the University of Miami is long overdue, but now that he has taken a position with the football team as their chief of staff, Reed's Hall of Fame credentials will be available for everybody involved to heed and learn from. Reed was a one-of-a-kind player for the Baltimore Ravens. In tandem with Ray Lewis, he spearheaded among the most vaunted defenses of the modern era and is easily one of the greatest safeties to ever deliver a thumping hit in the NFL. But Reed's desire to reappear in the football ranks had as much to do with his love for his alma mater as it did for the game.
You know, they were looking into filling a position to help the university get back where, you know, our standards are met.
Reed's stature as a Hall of Famer will be of great use to recent signee Avante Williams, who was ranked as the second best safety in the country coming out of high school. With the Hurricanes returning to the gridiron after a thoroughly disappointing 6-7 season punctuated by an embarrassing bowl game shutout loss, Reed figures to be the perfect shot in the arm for a program in need of a jolt. After 11 dominant seasons with the Ravens, plenty of programs, both from college and the pros, had Reed on their radar. But his connections to the U made it an easy decision for him. One of Reed's first challenges will be mentoring new transfer quarterback D'Eriq King. King arrived in Miami after bursting onto the scene with the Houston Cougars after 4 seasons, but Reed's presence will be unlike anything he's been a part of on the collegiate level. King will be under immediate pressure to terrorize opposing ACC defenses, much as Reed did to petrified quarterbacks throughout his illustrious career. That's Evan's Angle.
And now it's time for the play of the day. With the NBA dunk contest quickly approaching, one Memphis Grizzlies star is trying to make one last second bid to sneak into the field. Let's head out to the FedEx Forum to see what the high-flying forward was able to pull off. Grizzlies and Pistons opening minutes, Jaren Jackson Jr. with the ball at the top of the key, driving to the cup, and he goes up, up, and away. Slam it over the big fella. Jackson with a man's jam, posterizing Andre Drummond. Take another look. Jaren Jackson defying gravity, throwing it down with the left hand, all up in Andre Drummond's grill. Jackson would finish with 14 as the Grizzlies would go on to win 96-82, and that is your play of the day.
Kansas City just brought home, their first Super Bowl championship in 51 years, and boy, are they excited about it. Let's go to Hard Rock Stadium here in Miami to relive that winning moment. This Honey Badger doesn't care. He's a Super Bowl champ. Tyrann Mathieu celebrating. Here's Andy Reid giving a kiss to that trophy, ready to bring it home. It was raining red confetti at Hard Rock as the Chiefs celebrate there on the field. Here's Tyreek Hill with his son on his shoulders. What a proud day for that family. Take a look again at this Super Bowl 54. And here we have Patrick Mahomes saying, let's go. He's got his jacket on, but he is warm because he just won the Super Bowl.
Well, that looks fun.
Yeah.
How do I get a parade like that?
I mean, they must have been freezing cold after a weekend in Miami.
Oh, cold, Miami. Miami sun's better. I hope I get to see a Mets parade some point in my lifetime.
Well, Josh, I actually got to see a Yankee one.
Well, I think on that note, that'll do it for this edition of Sports Desk. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.